First one is lack of maintenance. Second one is in the name of urbanization we have destroyed the water coming to the temple tanks. Environmental factors, flooding, landslides, and then water pollution, agricultural waste, lack of community support, that participatory management is gone, lack of funds, and then thefts of these structures. The sculptures in the temple tanks have been theft. If you remove one stone, entire thing will collapse. Right? But actual reason for this construction of temple tank, inside the temple, outside the temple, and number of temple tanks, just a bird's eye view I will show you and relate it to our water resources. This is Yakambarnadar temple. Right? You can see only one temple, one tank inside. When you zoom it, people used to settle around the tank, around the temple. So for their purpose, they have constructed another temple. And these temple tanks are used for several purposes. Ritual purposes, human use purposes, agricultural purposes, whatever the purposes the public needs here. Again, for sustainable management, a taporcham will be carried out here. You can see a center, a mandapam, and then every year God will move from here to here and float festival will be managed. So the management of this temple tank remains same. Then if you take this Kalahasti, it's below a mountain. This is the big premises. Even though there is a river, still this temple tank has several big tirthams. Here is 1, 2, 3. I don't know why it is 3 in number. People say that it is Lord Shiva, he has 3 eyes, that is why 3 tanks. Oh, because this is in a hilly region. Whatever the runoff which comes here from these hilly regions, they all get stored here to reduce flooding in that people who are living there. It's the best management practice practiced by our forefathers for constructing large number of smaller tanks at different locations.
Wells have different taste.
Yes, sir.
What's the reason? I would like to.
I have not explored it. Some of the reason, the taste of the groundwater comes from the soil.
No, but here a small
Thin wall.
stone wall is there.
Yes,
And both the wells, the water is different taste.
maybe the energy it stores. That's what first I told. The energy stored in the temple water is totally different in different wells also, different tanks also. But according to groundwater subject, the electrical conductivity and the taste comes from this TSS, total suspended solids. And if you do aqua filter, all taste will go. What we are drinking is only H2O. TDS, total dissolved solids as well as total suspended solids. There are certain suspended solids like Mont mineralite, Mont illite which we need. It's not visible to naked eyes. We treat it. And in RO everything goes only H2O, chemical water. It's a laboratory distillery water. Doesn't have anything to pinch or test. No, I don't know, sir. I will explore it. That's a good point. Taste are different. There is one Chinese professor which he did some isotope hydrology, which he studies the natural radioactive material from different sources. I think we can also take up such a study. I had next bring water from different tirthams and do natural isotope studies and compare how energy is stored. Time consuming.
Water gets collected in the temple tanks. It's used for throughout the year. So the water is stagnant water.
Yes.
So doesn't it get polluted?
No. Unless you put an additional water other than the water it comes from the sanctum sanctorum. Major problem is photoplanktons. Right? Photoplanktons has to die when you do every year cleaning. Taporcham. You go to Taporcham, any temple tank where Taporcham is being carried out, There is no phytoplankton. The green color floating plants. If you don't replenish that water every year, or at least add some additional water, then the phytoplankton grows like anything. Then the pond becomes a stagnated water. So that is why that inlet tank, inlet channel should be in life. And no water from surrounding sewage should come into it. Once sewage comes,
Only water from the
temple,
is coming.
then there is no problem for this water quality in the temple.